What's your name?
Fred.
You look funny, Fred.
Donnie Darko. You must piss the bed. It is the master plan.
Hey, why does it smell like piss in here?
Donald, you must hit the card. Today, the podcast will end.
No, Fred. I've learned that all of this behavior stems from fear, and now I know the power to overcome fear. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell button so you don't miss a damn episode.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the No Thumbs Up podcast, where down is up and thumbs are down. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Donnie Darko from 2001, a film about big old bunnies and time travel. But first, let me introduce some beautiful people. Of course, we have Grandma Dane Death, young Josh Gyllenhaal. No idea what's going on in this movie, Noah. And of course, the one and only Spaghetti Joe. My name is Joel. I'll be your plotsman for today, so please sit down, get comfortable, and hit that theoretically possible like button, or you'll be hypnotically touching yourself in your therapist's office, you fuck ass. Wow. Really dodging the like that check mark on YouTube where you can say this is made for kids.
Absolutely.
You can bleep it out.
Yeah,
Right?
just hit that like button or if you like what we're doing here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get more podcasts just like this one. Hit that bell button so you don't miss a damn episode. Hey guys, it's been a little bit. I'm pretty sure nobody had seen this movie. What did Josh just hit his knuckle?
Smack my knees so hard. Oh,
Look down. He's like, damn it.
yeah, we're good. We're good. Keep going.
What I fucking come here to do this shit today.
So wait, Dane, you hadn't seen this either?
No, I think I've seen it once before.
Okay, and do you remember anything about that? No? Okay.
I remember Bunny Man.
Yeah,
That was about it.
seeing this as a kid, it's like you wouldn't know absolutely anything that's going on, and then as an adult, you barely.
You still don't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't make a lot of sense, this movie.
So
Like it does, but no.
it's just bad at explaining.
Yeah.
The movie was released January 19th, 2001. That's right, 2 days before my birthday. Directed by Richard Kelly, budget of estimated 4.5 million and a box office of 7.5 million. It's a very like cult classic movie, I feel.
Yeah, I feel like it's gained so much traction just over the years because I've heard a lot of people talk about it before.
Yeah, that was why I was like excited to watch it, and then afterwards I was like, should I have been so excited?
Stick around to the end of the episode to find out.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal is obviously starring in this movie. He's from Brokeback Mountain, Spider-Man, Jarhead. Never heard of that, but
He's like he's in the army. I forget he's like a Marine or somebody. Yeah, got a shaved head army man. Jake Gyllenhaal gets his fucking face smashed into a chalkboard. Is real good.
Apparently, there's 3 of them. Can you believe that?
You know what? There's been enough wars. You can just keep making them.
Yeah, true.
Jake Gyllenhaal in every war. Drew Barrymore.
Jarhead Kiev edition.
Drew Barrymore from E.T. 51st States, Firestarter, and she is just mommy in this movie.
Mommy.
Throw that out there.
Mommy, sorry.
Which character was that?
The teacher.
Oh yeah.
The
Uh,
hot one.
Patrick Swayze from Dirty Dancing, Ghost, Roadhouse, Point Break. That's motivational motivational
Sorry.
speaker guy. Maggie Gyllenhaal is the sister. She plays Rachel in The Dark Knight. She's in Crazy Heart, Monster House.
Rachel?
Yo, Monster House. That shit's a vibe. That's sweet.
We gotta review that movie.
That's
damn.
a peak
Yeah.
career move for her. Monster House.
It was all
Finally,
downhill after Monster House.
I mean, really? Yeah.
now that it's June, let's review Monster House. Very in the season. I don't. That is a Halloween movie, right? I don't remember.
I think so. Or-
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it is.
One of them wears a cape. So,
Fat one.
Seth Rogen, every Judd Apatow movie. Yeah, that's all you need to say. Also, every just Seth Rogen movie after he
Yeah.
started doing his own. But yeah, so that's the preface there. If you're new to this here podcast, which actually some people are, we got a couple new subs. That's interesting. So every week we each bring a movie to put on this here wheel. Every week, definitely.
Yeah.
Every week that we record.
Every week on the nose.
Every time a new episode comes out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
We each bring a movie to put on this here wheel, and after we're done reviewing this current movie, we're going to give it a spin and see what we're reviewing for the next week. We decided to do a theme this week. Maybe that'll start being more of a thing, but who knows? We did sports movies. So we have Joseph's
We
movie.
like sports and we don't care. Who knows?
That'll
From
be
shooting
the
hoops to the Super Bowl.
Football,
Gilmore.
football, tennis. Yeah, Happy Gilmore is Joseph's movie. Basketball is our bonus movie because Marcel ain't here. The Waterboy is Josh's movie.
Yep. My mama said
Dodgeball is Dane's movie. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
you could dodge my balls.
Moneyball is Noah's movie. Been itching to put that on the wheel for a while, I think. And then mine is Benchwarmers. So I think that's a pretty
Honestly,
good
all
list.
fire movies on the
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah. Happy with any of those.
Yeah.
You guys did for some reason decide against Airbud, but you know, it would have made it just slightly more fire, but
Whatever, I digress.
yeah.
Which movie would
can-
we have to take out to make it fire, Joel?
Which one's Joe's? Without any further ado, a storm is coming, a storm that will swallow children and now deliver them from the kingdom of pain. I will deliver the children back to their doorsteps. I will send the monsters back to the underground. I'll send them back to the place where no one else can see them except for me, because I am Donnie Darker. Darker.
Donald Darker.
Donnie Darker.
So we start this movie out where Jake Gyllenhaal wakes up in the middle of the forest, and we don't really know why yet. He gets on his bike, starts biking home. You kind of get like this slow shot of everybody in the town. His dad just like real dick moves, fucking the like daughter
Just
just comes
leaf.
up to talk to
Just-
him, just leaf blowers her in the face. Yeah.
Look, I was watching this movie last night with Pam, and she just turns to me. She's like, "It's just something you would do." I'm like, "I have a leaf blower downstairs, and you're goddamn right it is."
Let me go get it.
I just like 1 o'clock last night. All you hear just super fucking
What
loud.
the fuck are they doing up there?
Kinky.
Yeah.
Real kinky stuff.
It's jackhammer sounds.
At dinner, the dad starts trying to talk like politics and then like babies and future stuff, and Donnie's sister. What's her name in this again?
Fuck ass.
Yeah.
I don't retain people's names from movies I watch.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
gonna be
Maggie
real.
Gyllenhaal. She's
Who's the main character?
The rabbit.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, Fred. Fred.
she's not gonna squeeze one out until she's 30. And then the little girl's just like, when can
I
I
wouldn't
squeeze
squeeze one out in the middle of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
No.
uh, uh, he's like, he's still gonna be working at the yarn bar. 'Cause I hear that's a great place to raise children. This is where you get the famous like, why are you being such a fuck ass? It's like, oh yeah, well you can go suck a fuck. Well, does one suck a fuck? um, they jam in here where he's like, oh yeah, well maybe mom and dad can pay $200 for a therapist to listen to your issues. It's like,
So we don't have to listen to him.
sneak that one in. We learn that he stopped taking his medication, so they're also telling us, hey, he's got some issues there. And the mom confronts him after this while he's reading, and she's like, hey, where do you go at night? And even though he's like sleepwalking and like doesn't really know how he gets there, he like doesn't want to talk to her. And like as she's leaving, uh, she like slams the door. She's like, bitch. It's like, man, you just get your ass beat in a lot of houses for that.
If that was me, I wouldn't be alive today.
Yeah, he kind of sits up like he's not happy with what he said, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. And mom goes to talk to the dad. Your son just called me a bitch. And I feel
Oh,
like,
sweetie, you're not a bitch.
yeah, the dad, I feel like just doesn't give a fuck in this movie. Like,
I love the dad in this movie, just like through all the things of Donnie just like doing like asshole-ish stuff. You always just see the dad like snickering in the back. He's like, yeah.
yeah, whenever he gets in trouble at the school, uh, it's like, oh, he told the teacher to do what? He's just like,
That's
It's my
honestly me.
boy.
I would be so much like that dad. Just fucking
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, kid. Like, pat him on the back.
Show it
Like,
to
you
the
should
man.
work. Yeah, show it to the man. Let's go. Get some ice cream. Fuck.
It's like one of those things where you're like, because he basically has to as a parent in whatever like the principal's office, he's gonna like scold you there. But as soon as you get back to the car, you're just like, fuck yeah.
Set me up.
Yeah.
the dad wakes up in the middle of the night, starts watching the news. It shows October 2nd, 1988. See like this kind of flash of like Donnie's like eyes dilating and stuff, and he like wakes up, walks past his sleeping dad outside to see Frank for the first time. This just like 6 foot tall bunny rabbit, and I think the first time watching this movie, you're like, "Aight, what's
Yeah.
going on here?"
Mhm.
And
Should we like discuss the whole like parameter of the movie like partway through it? Like, isn't this the time where the like alternate dimension starts?
Yeah.
it's when like the
Or like soon-ish? Like, we're gonna cover that whole thing
yeah.
while we're explaining it, or we're gonna wait till the end to go over all the theories of the movie?
I don't know. We can do it whenever, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
when like the engine hits his house, which is basically
Hits his
right
house?
after this scene.
Okay.
So sails in 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds is when the world will end. He's like, why? Doesn't get the answer. His sister gets back from her like little night out, and all of a sudden this engine falls through the roof of their house where it would have killed Donnie. And yeah, I don't know. I guess we can take it away from there. But this is not an explained video. This,
No.
this is a complicated movie that, in my opinion, doesn't explain what's going on all that well in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
When
Like on purpose, but
yeah, but in a lot of movies, I feel like they'll leave it ambiguous. Like, like Inception, they leave it ambiguous so that you don't know whether he's sleeping or not, but like you get that point. And
Yeah.
like in this, it's like I feel like you just don't have like the primal knowledge to understand what's
Yeah.
how it's working. But
yeah, definitely not like oh, I want to see a movie tonight. Let's just go watch this. And then you're just like mind fucked at like the theater. You kind of have to like rewatch it again and really think of it, I guess.
yeah, like one of the theories we were watching says it's like based on this book that gets mentioned in the movie where it's like there's like the controlled dead, which is Frank, and then the controlled living, which is like the teacher, and like
Yeah, I feel like if you knew that book and like the lines that they showed in the explained videos, like A lot of like the context for those kind of theories is just from like some book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like one of the things he was saying in that video was like, yeah, if you know that book, it explains the rules, but it doesn't explain like why those rules apply, to the situation kind of thing. Yeah, but I guess when this plane like crashes, it somehow kind of creates this alternate dimension that is going to eventually collapse, and for some reason,
What is
its
it called? Like a tangent
universe or something.
universe or timeline, something like that.
Yeah.
Like in the Marvel universe, how you have the normal timeline and then like the split timeline that follows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, except one of them has to die, kind of, I think, in this. And
don't think it just
Exactly how
parallels, does it?
Endgame happened as well.
I think
When
it said like these
Thanos
like
got hit by the
tangent
jet
like
turbine.
Yeah, like when an event happens, they like split off from there, right?
yeah, and these
Yeah.
like tangents only go on for like a week or two, isn't it? Isn't that what they said in the
28
video?
days in this.
28 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they basically collapse on themselves. So, but see, this is where I don't think it makes sense. So if we say that this is a tangent, right?
Yeah.
And then Frank is like, okay, everybody here is going to die because this tangent is going to go away in 28 days. There's going to be a black hole that sucks everything up. And then Donnie's supposed to be this sacrifice or whatever.
Mhm.
Like when he goes back in time, I don't know if that like reverses the tangent or whatever, but it's like he doesn't really save anyone because everybody in the regular timeline where he stays in his bed
Yeah.
still lives.
Yeah.
And whether he leaves this dimension or not, it's gonna either explode or it's gonna explode and he's gonna go back in time. So I don't know how.
Yeah.
That's always the conundrum with time travel movies is really
Yeah.
hard to. You have to come up with your own form of it, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to
Your
have
own
something like
universe,
something self-contained because trying to rationalize any form of it just never makes sense. It's always comes back to like the chicken and the egg type shit.
Yeah.
Give me like 1 second. Putting eardrops in.
Sure.
Mm.
Josh is like putting a couple of like drops on his tongue. Taking acid. Or wait, is that acid that you can drip on your tongue? I don't know.
Yeah, you can take it in liquid form.
Yeah.
Once again, child rating. Check that box.
Joe and I were literally talking about this yesterday. How you can just get like acid flashbacks just like years later, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What's
that
the
sounds
one?
terrible.
What's the one drug that gets enhanced when you take eye drops?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a certain chemical in eye drops that when you take it and either smoke it or inject it, it's just like hella ham. But I didn't know it, so I couldn't make the reference when Josh was taking the drops. But they're not even eye drops, but
It's like apparently eating mangoes gets you more high because of
Yeah.
like
We tried that.
the
Yeah.
enzyme or something.
I don't know if it worked, but we tried it. I got high. If anything,
We're
more-
gonna get high regardless.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, it's high. So
Get my
yeah,
DMT vape.
Donnie wakes up on the golf course and there's two people there. One of them is the speaker and I can't remember if the other one.
Jim Cunningham.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy is on there.
Doctor or something, I think they said.
Wait.
Oi.
Oh.
Oi.
He has the time that Frank told him written on his arm, and it leads up to like October 31st or something, at midnight.
Halloween.
He arrives at home, and there's like cops all around his house and stuff. And they're like, no, you can't go in there. He's like, I live here. Forces his way past the cops. Like, what a terrible cop.
Well, damn, that's all I can do.
I don't get paid enough.
Just decks him.
Stop resisting!
Cops were different in the 90s.
Yeah. His house is not nearly destroyed enough for a plane engine falling from the sky and hitting it.
It's just only got Donnie's room. Nothing else of thousands of pounds falling
like
from the slick. That house would just be fucking leveled.
Yeah, it'd be like
Yeah.
irreparable.
Did it fall from the sky or did it just randomly appear?
You'd
Fell from
fell from the plane in the alternate dimension. 30,000. Nah, who fucking
But as it was
knows?
falling, did it just like randomly appear? Did
Yeah,
it take
like-
away the momentum?
Like that's.
Actually.
Did they place a bucket of water right before he hit the ground? So like,
Oh,
He
I've
fell
seen Looney
into,
Tunes.
like-
That works.
like a block of hay or like a slime block, and he like fell.
Donnie Darko doing like the Minecraft parkour on us.
No, that's just a theory. A game theory.
Yeah, so these like
Oh.
FAA agents like are talking to them. They want to speak to his parents like privately, even though they kind of don't know what's going on here. They have to sign all these papers, so they won't disclose anything. And then they have to go and stay at a hotel until their house is all repaired.
Oh, what a dream getting to sue the government.
Yeah.
God damn. Getting a settlement.
Getting this, like, you do it once and then you're just set for life.
Yep.
So
Nah, you do it once, then you just get that rush.
You'd have tasted
know?
it.
this engine, they don't know where it came from because like in their timeline, there's no plane that went down, and the
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
Actually,
the barcode on it is like gone. So if it was on it, it'd be from a plane that hasn't crashed yet or didn't crash at all. Well, in this alternate timeline, does the no, because the plane, yeah, it hasn't crashed yet. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The sister's mad she has to sleep, but Donnie, in like the bedroom with the mom and the dad, like the dad is talking about like this guy who died when he was in high school, got like shot. His name is Frank, and he's like, man, that could have been Donnie. Donnie could have just died last.
Damn, Franks have really bad luck of getting fucking shot.
I was gonna say, is this the same Frank? Or like
Something along those lines. Says Frank Fiedler, who died on his way to prom. They said that he was doomed. Jesus, they could be saying the same thing about Donnie, but he dodged it. He dodged his bullet rose. Somebody was watching over him. Turns out it was him. They are dropped off at the bus stop in the morning, and Donnie's now famous, which of course means he needs to smoke a cigarette.
greatest logic in film.
I mean, it's the most 80s fucking logic, you have to admit. Like, nobody
Only
just offers
cool
you.
kids smoke.
Yeah. Like, no kids are just like, in our time, it's like, hey, you got gold at the track and field event. Have a smoke.
Have a cigarette.
I don't know. We do that with carts. It's like, yo, you
Yeah,
did that.
that's
Hit the cart.
That's different though.
I don't think we do that for any special occasion either.
Oh, you're a celebrity now. Hit the cart.
You have to hit the card.
You're literally famous. Speaking of
Hit the cart.
nothing.
Pain.
So they go to the bus stop, and there's this girl named Sherida, and they're like, "Oh, you want some, Sherida?" And she totally overreacts. She's like, "Shut up, shut up!" And then they go way, way, way overreact. At school, there's like this kind of slow-mo panning shot all around the school to show off like the teacher that's sleeping with other teacher, little kids, religious teacher who supports Speaker Man. Pretty much everybody that we're gonna see in the whole movie is there. In Drew Barrymore's class, she's just reading parts from a short story and mentions like it's called. I think this is where they're reading like the Destructors or something. This whole thing about a destroyed house, which is like ironic because his house got destroyed or whatever. Like she's like, oh, so what did the author mean by this? And one of the girls raises her hand and she answers it. She's like, well, if you would have read the book, like you would have known that blah 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 blah. Fucking Joni. And it's like, if you didn't know, if you didn't read it, why would you raise your hand to try and answer the question? Like
the anxiety of not reading it got to her, so she's like, I gotta answer.
it's
They'll
like,
never suspect the first person to put up their hand not knowing it.
Yeah.
She's expecting everybody else to also raise their hand. She's just trying to blend in. Yeah. So this new girl comes into class, and she's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm in the wrong place." She's like, "You don't look like you're in the wrong place. Where do I sit?" Sit next to the boy who you think is the cutest. And everyone's like, "Ooh," and she's like, "Shut up." She's like, "Oh, so commanding."
You set that up.
Yeah, right. Like you're just baiting so hard.
And then she just doesn't say anything, kind of just looks at Donnie a little bit, and she's like, "Joni, move." This little girl is getting fucking wrecked, but
Do you think like her answering the question wrong was a precursor to her being told to fucking move? Like,
Definitely.
was
she
that the
pissed.
was that the director's way of setting that up? Because that was terrible.
Terrible
Just
setup.
didn't want you to feel bad for her when she had to move, but it had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Let's go out to the director. Sir, I don't know if this makes it. We got bigger things on the plate with time travel, kid.
It's already confusing enough.
Sorry, I was just reading the part about Drew Barrymore slowly putting back on her librarian glasses.
Mommy. Sorry, mommy.
On the ride home, they're discussing how like him and his dad are saying, "Wait, so like we're not allowed to tell anybody about like the plane thing that hit our house?" It's like, so we're not allowed to tell anybody what nobody knows because the FAA agents don't know where it came from and like all these people, whatever. And this is where we learn about the plane. They don't know where it came from, but then they almost hit Grandma Death, this lady who just keeps like going back and forth to check her mail, waiting for this mail that never comes. When Donnie goes up to her, she whispers something, and we don't hear it. Cuts away before getting anything else. And Donnie's at his therapist. He's telling her about Frank and how Frank wanted him to follow him to the future. She's like, so like, do you think the world is gonna end? And he's like, nah, that'd be stupid, right? In a class, they're watching like this really cheesy ad uh, from the speaker guy. Like, I'm not afraid anymore. The little kid. All these just like if you actually like listen to what all these people are saying, it's all just like filler words that like doesn't mean anything. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like the like really like religious teacher who like even though she's supposed to be like the holy one is like supporting this guy who is later revealed to be a pedophile and even after is really revealed to be a pedophile like or not necessarily a pedophile but has all these child tapes that she's like still supporting him trying to disprove all this stuff. Yeah, so then at his house he starts sleepwalking again, and he gets like kind of all these visions and this axe, or whatever, and then he goes and chops up the water boiler and sticks the axe into the head of the full bronze like dog statue they have out front, like
Oh, beefy ass dog statue, just absolutely on the fucking gear.
yeah, like
I don't really understand why the dog statue just has to be so jacked.
Intimidation.
But if you have like a little puppy dog as your school's mascot, like that shows weakness. You gotta be the jack dog, you
The
know?
bulldogs, not the pugs.
But it's like gross.
Like if we
To
were
you.
yeah,
if we were the kitty
Yeah, to
cats
me.
instead of the sabers, you know?
it
Yeah.
kind of
Get
It's
has
pushed
supposed to
around.
look good.
Our
It's supposed to look
saber-
intimidating and
Did our saber have
scary.
muscles? Did it have
It should've.
muscles?
No, and that's why you guys lost a bunch.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He wasn't jacked.
it's like whenever you see like just like that like comically like overdrawn like furry stuff, that's what this looks like. Where it's
Mhm.
just like just
And it does
bulbous
look like
and
that
everything.
fetish muscle art.
Literally
Yeah.
straight from a Tumblr fan art thing.
Yeah,
And was Donnie like sticking the axe in the bronze statue's head like a symbolism of his strength or something?
How
Like
the fuck did he get
power?
up there to do that, by the
Maybe
way?
it's a
No.
symbolism of him about to fuck the school up.
Yeah.
And it's like, while he's under like the control of Frank, does he just have like super fucking
Superpowers, yeah.
Yeah, right. He'd have to, because there's no way he'd get into the school, find the water main, and it's like it's
Yeah.
fucked up. It's fucked up.
At
But this
the
isn't an explained video.
No, it's not.
when the like at the bus stop, the bus doesn't show up, and they're trying to pull the whole like, if it's 15 minutes late, we're legally allowed to leave.
Where it all began.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, a white van could come and pick us all up, blah blah blah. And then they're all saying, "Okay, we should leave." And they're like, "Sherida, you have to go home, because like if the buses do show up and you're the only one still here, we're all gonna get in trouble." And she's like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up!" And then once again, way overreaction. It's like the one guy says, like, "Hey, Porky Pig!" Like, holy shit,
Oh,
man,
Jesus.
calm the fuck down.
Kids will be kids.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so glad there was never any shit like that, like that I noticed, anyways.
Yeah, not around us at least, but it's our white privilege talking.
Yeah,
I remember my middle
Absolutely.
school being pretty brutal for that, but everyone here was nice.
that's Saskatchewan, though. Or was
Yeah.
that Saskatchewan? Yeah.
It was Saskatchewan, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I watched. I remember it's like one of them, like one of the versions doesn't even have her saying like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." So it's like even more unfounded.
I think the YouTube is the director's cut one,
Yeah.
like the director's version.
Like the longer one?
Yeah,
Oh,
because when we watched the
that's
explained
different.
video, some of the scenes I like saw them before. I was like, that's the only one I've watched is the YouTube one.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched it off Prime.
Oh,
I don't
didn't
know.
even know it was on Prime.
Me neither.
Speaking of Prime, go use your Twitch Prime on the No Thumbs Up Twitch.
I don't know if we ever got around.
Streaming every one time we've done it.
Just the girl who was interested in Donnie Darko was being like harassed on the way back home from school by Seth Rogen's
I'm gonna fucking touch you.
Donnie comes by and kind of saves her, and she's talking about like, my dad has emotional problems. He's like, "Oh shit, yeah, me too. What kinds he got?" She's like, "He stabbed my mom 4 times in the chest." He's like,
Oh, I don't have those ones.
No.
Shit, me too.
That sounds like it really sucks. Yeah, but when he was young, he accidentally burned down a house, and he had to go to jail, and he can't drive till he's 21. So I don't know if that's foreshadowing, but burns down another house. Saying he wants to be like a writer or a painter or something, even though he's hecka smart. He asks if she wants to go with him, which is kind of like, oh, we're wheeling now in West nomenclature.
Yeah, wheeling.
Wheeling.
Everyone in the world's gonna understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely not just an Alberta thing.
Well, I don't know how far it spreads.
I thought wheeling was like you're wheeling babes. Like I thought that was like a hockey thing.
Yeah.
I remember my
Sounds
dad
good.
used to say that in like Manitoba even.
Really?
Yeah, because I mentioned
Weird.
wheeling. He's like, oh, I remember we used to say that. It's like, all right, this goes back.
Then you should go back.
They're gonna go
Parallel
Go
thinking.
Go steady.
His therapist wants to try hypnotizing him, and so she's like, "Tell me about the girl you met." "Oh, it's Gretchen." "Oh, you think about girls?" "Oh, I think about girls a lot." "How's school?" "I think about girls a lot."
I think about fucking that.
I think about fucking at school. "Oh, how's your family?" "No, I don't think about fucking my family. That's gross." And just slowly reaching his hands down, she just claps to wake him up. He's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah,
Waking up like not knowing anything, your just hands down your pants, you just like your therapist just watching over you. Just,
Now, is this supposed to symbolize like his adolescence or something? Like, what are we getting from this
He's
scene?
just going through puberty. I don't know. He's kind of a sex obsessed teen. It comes up multiple times, like when they're talking about the Smurfs, and he's like, What's the point of like it's so illogical to be a Smurf. What's the point of living without a dick?" And like,
But Donnie's the one who's like logical in that situation.
Yeah, he's the one defending about how they don't just gangbang
how they don't
Smurfette.
Well, he's just telling them how it is. He's like
Yeah.
they just have the facts wrong. He's just straightening it out.
Yeah, but like this whole scene specifically, where like he just starts jerking it under hypnosis, I guess,
you know,
is just a really weird scene, like everything in this movie. But
yeah, like I don't really understand why it's like a theme, like why that's an attribute Donnie has, but
like he's in high school,
yeah.
he has a person he's interested in. Yeah, we get that. But why does he have to start jerking off in the therapy office?
Because he's super sexually charged and he can't help it, and that's what,
What
makes him
led up to this
insane.
moment?
That's what makes him crazy.
What led up to this moment was puberty and hormones.
Horny.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all telling me y'all did something like this in your, I don't know, like teacher's
Well,
room.
he's
Yeah, I
a,
jerked off
he's
in
a-
the room I went into.
he's a sleepwalker and he doesn't know that he's doing it. So
He's under hypnosis.
Well, yeah, when you're under hypnosis, I mean, you're not gonna. Supposedly, you don't understand, I guess, what you're doing, but
Well,
like,
no,
It's almost like a
uh,
dream, I feel.
I've heard that in hypnosis you can kind of like tell everything that's going on. You just kind of feel like you should do those things, I guess. But that's not what she was telling him to do. So he was.
no,
I don't
it's
really know.
fucked up. It's
Yeah,
fucked up.
It's
I mean,
fucked up.
we already know that, but
Yeah.
oh yeah, so everybody at the school has to like write "they made me do it" or whatever on the board because that's what was written by the statutes. They're trying to find out who did it. And then in the bathroom, the one bully like holds him at knife point because they're like, "Oh, somebody told me that everyone's saying that you said that I did it," and which isn't something we've seen him say, so unfounded again. And then we see them out, and this is when they're shooting guns at stuff, and they start talking about the Smurf sex, and apparently he just knows way too much about the Smurfs. This whole thing is illogical. And what's the point of living if you don't have a dick? And they see Grandma Death again. I like they start like commentating her. They're like, oh, there she goes again. Oh, turn around. Is there gonna be anything in there this time? Ooh, no, maybe next time.
Somebody should write that bitch. It's like, damn.
Yeah, everyone's such a just like ruthless douche in this. They have this big assembly for all the parents and teachers to address what happens, and the like religious teacher starts taking issue with what Drew Barrymore is teaching. She's like, they're teaching pornography in these classrooms. She's like, it's supposed to be ironic. I don't know if you're gonna get away with that one. Meanwhile, Donnie is having a mirror meeting with Frank in the washroom, and
Is it Frank or Fred? Is it Frank?
Frank.
It's Frank.
Right.
I don't know. I switched up in my mind. I thought it was Fred.
Because Josh was so convincing in
I
this
was so
skit.
convincing.
The performance of a lifetime.
I'll be honest, when you guys were saying like Fred, it just sounded like bread.
Fred.
Because the F didn't come through very well, so
Yeah.
just bread.
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 That's a better name.
Yeah, it's good.
Or should I say a butter name?
Oh.
Roll credits.
All right, get this guy a podcast or something. You need to.
That's my thumbs up moment.
I don't even think about a thumbs up or thumbs down moment.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's not many thumbs up moments.
Honestly, I think
these
Smurf
scenes
fucking
piss me
is
off.
my thumbs down moment.
What's your thumbs down?
The Smurf fucking is my thumbs down.
That's fair.
I think mine's the scene right before it where the guy pulls the knife on him in the school washroom. It's like, what are you gonna get from this?
I'm gonna
Arrested.
say my thumbs down moment is all the time Sherida gets unjustly roasted.
True.
You don't know if she deserves it. Come on, there's
They
backstory
don't show a
to
lot in
it.
this movie. Yeah. There's no context.
She could be an absolute bitch.
Shut
Uh,
up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
I had to turn subtitles on at one point because I just couldn't understand what they were saying, and even in the subtitles, it actually just comes up as "shut up." No,
Oh. So yeah, he's talking to Frank. Where did you come from? Do you believe in time travel? His sister comes in. Who are you talking to? Nothing. He's reading that poetry in class. I don't remember who asks, but they're like, "Who's Frank?" He's like a 6 foot tall bunny rabbit. They have to watch more religious teachers making them do the whole thing where they have to split things between fear and love. Um,
I think this is my thumbs down. Just imagine having to do an assignment like that back in school.
yeah.
I probably would have reacted the same way Donnie did. He's fucking stupid.
And like fear and love aren't really opposites. IMO.
No, I don't think they're in the same category of
Yeah.
like emotion.
I think it's just like they really wanted to emphasize the whole like Christian emotions, like either the fear or the love of God.
They
I think
wanted,
that because it was a Christian school or Catholic or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck it was, religious school.
and you can tell like the director is very like not religious. He's like trying to make everything that like those guys do look very like reductive and like
I think they do it to
not
themselves.
well. Yeah, so they have to like read these scenarios, put them somewhere on the line, and he tells his teacher to shove it, and they go to the principal's office, and his dad's just kind of snickering. His mom goes out to talk to the teacher, and you need to be parenting him better, pretty much. At home, Donnie gets his whole like new room set up because the jet engine went through it. And there's like these big posters of like girls and stuff that they've put in there. And like, whose idea was this? Yeah. So
Don't you know, bro? Donnie's all sexed up. He loves women.
oh yeah, I forgot he loves sex.
Loves
But who was his
fucking-
interior decorator?
Yeah, I want them.
Yeah.
He goes to talk to. Oh, where does he get? Oh yeah, he goes to talk to his science teacher about time travel, and science teacher starts talking about wormholes, and they kind of bond over Back to the Future, and teacher feels inclined to give him this book that used to belong to a nun slash old professor at the school, and it's called Philosophy of Time Travel by Roberta Sparrow, who is Grandma Death. At dinner, he's telling his family about the book, and they're like, "Wow, Grandma Death, who would have known?" And at therapy, he's telling her about when they almost hit her with his car, and she's like, "Oh, so what did she say to you?" She said that every living creature on Earth dies alone, and it reminded him of his old dog that died when he was 8, and yeah, like crawled underneath the porch to die alone. And he's like, "Do you feel alone?" And he starts going on this tangent. He's like, "Well, I'm not debating it." He spent a long time trying to like resolve whether he was alone or not, but he just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. So like, he doesn't debate it anymore. He says,
I would like everybody except for Joel to turn their heads to the side like this.
We're doing a HyperX check.
We're doing a little thing here. So everybody turn their heads to the side, put their ears up to their camera like this. So this portion of today's episode is sponsored by HyperX. HyperX, high quality sound at a low cost to you. HyperX.
That's their slogan.
And
Yep.
in anecdotal evidence, I'm really rough on my headphones and I break them all the time. But these are the
Yeah.
only ones that have held up from my monkey hands.
It's true.
See, that was a testimonial
do-
from one of our patrons here at the No Thumbs Up podcast.
I do love the 7.1 surround sound on them.
That's
Even
right. And
coming from much more expensive headphones before these, I do prefer these.
"Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys. I muted you on my Arctis 7 headset."
Steel Series, low quality sound. That's all.
Right.
I feel like Steel Series
Shit.
is like the highest quality sound, but the least comfortable for my head.
Lowest
I
quality
find
sound,
HyperX, I just
highest quality mouse pads.
I got a
Feel-
ROG mouse pad.
Got a Corsair.
I
but,
feel
you
like
know,
the floor to make a good mouse pad is pretty low, but
it is.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's just got to be the right material, and that's kind of
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
Got a
That's
big
potters.
Boy.
So at home, there's a bunch of people there watching the football game when all of a sudden Donnie starts seeing people's like future paths of where they're going to go, and then he starts seeing his own, and he follows it to the upstairs where his dad has a gun in his shoebox.
Yeah.
So yes, Donnie does have some new supernatural powers, I guess.
Yep. True.
Plus the ability to travel through time and manipulate airplane engines. 12
Happens.
days remain.
And sea bunny people.
Yeah. His GF is talking about how he wished he'd go back in time, or she could go back in time to replace all the bad memories and stuff like that. He's kind of like cuts her off. His mind's somewhere else. He's like, "Hey, we haven't even kissed yet." She's like, "Oh, I want it to be special."
Hey, I'm horny.
And they look back. They're like in the middle of the forest, and they just kind of look back, and there's a guy in a tracksuit standing there. That's my thumbs up moment.
He's an FBI agent, right? That's what he's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
I like never got that until the very end when we watched like the explanation videos. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah. Also, just like with the whole kissing thing with him, God, they kiss at just the worst, most awkward like they're just talking about all this morbid shit, and it's just like my mom ran away.
Oh.
That's what I was saying when we were rewatching it yesterday. I was like, she just gets hot and bothered talking about trauma, man. She just runs to
Right.
him to Mac.
I don't know. Yeah. She's just coping.
Copium.
Your lips are my copium.
Yeah. Donnie Darko.
In therapy, she thinks his aggressive behavior seems to be tied to the forces in the world that he believes to be threatening. Oh, I think this is when she's talking to the parents. Yeah, and oh wait, that could be right. It says she wants to try hypnotherapy, but that must be in the wrong.
More hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
At school, preacher man is doing a speech. Some people are paralyzed by fear, and they cover it with drugs and alcohol and premarital sex, and for love in the wrong places. Or yeah, he's like, I knew a young man. His name was Frank. So that comes up again.
Whoa.
Like that explain video did say, it's like they're trying to make you have deja vu, like for a lot of this stuff because of the whole split timeline thing. So I think that's why the dad mentions Frank, and they show you like the red car crashing in that arcade game, and then yeah, you see like the water at some parts when the school floods and all that stuff, that's kind of neat. But yeah, there's oh yeah, random cameo from Ashley Tisdale is one of the people who asks questions.
Yeah, one of the
What,
kids.
really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then Spencer from iCarly asks one of them. And then the kid who is definitely a plant because he was in the video that they were shown in class. He was like, "I'm not afraid anymore." He goes up on the stage, so he's definitely.
I didn't even notice that.
Didn't
Yeah.
notice that either.
That's funny. That makes it. Oh, it's so good.
The guy, like when he answers questions, it basically just sounds like he's like dodging them and just being like, no fear, love. That's just all he knows what to say. And then Donnie talks to him about like how much he's getting paid to be there, starts beating him, and he's like, yeah, no, I might be angry and stuff, but I think you're the Antichrist. And then he gets pulled out. He's venting to his GF out in the middle of nowhere, and she's like, "Hey, you okay? Like, fucking simmer down."
I'm turned on right now. Like, you should stop.
Roast them more.
He tells her about Grandma Death and the book and all that, and then he's back to talking to his teacher about time travel, or talking about, oh yeah, what if you knew where you were going? Oh, then you'd have a chance to betray what you already knew was going to happen. No, not if you travel within God's channel, which I still don't really understand.
Yeah.
Um,
It's that little
Yeah, but I think it's more of a concept of like I don't know.
It's the whole thing about how if it's predetermined and if God exists, he already predetermines all time. So it's like if he traveled in that time, but he can see it and divert from. Yeah, they had the whole.
I think like
Yeah.
traveling within God's channel is like having
Is you see it and you do it.
and
You don't divert from it. You
Oh,
see the thing and you do what that is. That's what I thought it was.
I was thinking that like it would be like you are
Think it,
in
dream
some
it,
way
do it.
you're dictating the future. I don't know. So yeah, I guess.
I see dead Jesus. I love dead Jesus.
But as soon as he brings that
Amen.
up, the teacher is like, "Hey, I think we should stop talking about this. I could lose my job." He's like, "Alright," leaves.
Like, why though?
He's a science teacher trying
At a
to go
Christian
further.
school.
To go further, he'd have to because he mentions God's channel for him to say like, well, that's not like a thing, or to
That's
try and
why.
explain it further.
That's why I think it's like has to do with like you're traveling within God's channel would be like time travel, but you're like dictating what's happening, so you're playing God, and like that's why he can't do it. But I don't know. The walks past the preacher man's house and he finds his wallet. How serendipitous! Now he knows where he lives. At therapy, he's talking about the future liquid he was seeing coming out of people and how he followed it. And he was like right about to tell her that he found the gun. He's like, I don't know, took me up to my dad's room. Doesn't tell her. In class, they're giving like a presentation about something that they invent. Like they had to invent something, and it's a like fake glasses that you put on while your baby sleeps, so you can kind of like teach them stuff as they're sleeping. I feel like that would just fuck up your baby's circadian rhythm to just like be
Yeah.
flashing pictures.
Flashing lights.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it did? I thought it was like those like little pictures, you like slide them in and just like have it on there. You can, like switch it out.
But it was like as they're
It just was
sleeping,
like,
they have it on all night.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess it could be that, but
Gotta put pictures of just like money and just like jobs and bread and
Really just
Lamborghinis
brainwashing to be a
give to be a
capitalist.
grinder at a young age.
Dude, speaking of being a grinder at a young age, I was looking at Snap Maps and like there's like the stories that people post as public ones in
Yep.
Wetaskiwin. And there's
Those are
just
always
one kid on there, he's like in high school and he's like Chad Anstey, just like nonsensical speaking about just like, hey guys, I hope you have a blessed day. Like we out here, and then you just hear like the high school bell, the phone go off, and he's just like, and his friend's just making signs at the fucking camera.
holding up their sponsored G Fuel and stuff.
Yeah, and he has just so many posts, just him just like
That's
looking
cool.
at the camera, like he's literally just like one of them's like he's like face over his phone, just like eating some chips. He's like. And then they like pans over to the bag of
Yeah,
chips.
go
Like
find
these
this
are,
guy.
these are so good, man. Like these no name brand chips. They're busting.
Yo, shout out to Lay's.
This guy's just trying to get clout in Wetaskiwin.
Playing the DJ Khaled angle.
Yeah.
The teacher's like, hey, ever consider that, hey, maybe babies need darkness? And the bullies are like, yeah, what if people put like pictures of like Satan and stuff? And it's like, why would any adult do that? They're like, didn't your dad stab your mom? It's like, holy shit. Why is everybody just ruthless?
That's why your mama dead.
Oh, God.
Dead as hell.
Dead as hell.
Got on in the grave.
She runs out after class, and this is where they first kiss in front of the school. They go and see Evil Dead in theaters. She falls asleep. Frank appears, and he's like, "Why are you wearing that stupid bunny suit? Why are you wearing that stupid man suit?" And he just smile drops. He's like, "Fuck you." He takes off his mask and he's like, "When's this going to stop, Frank? You should already know that." He makes a whole appear in the movie screen and asks me if he's ever seen a portal, if he knows what that is and how it works and stuff. And it leads to the preacher's house. He's like, burn it to the ground. So So he just sneaks out while she's sleeping. They're the only two people in the theater. Simultaneously, the school like play / talent show is going on where his sister is doing her little dance and Sherida's doing her like angel dance thing, and he's burning down.
This again, fucking poor Sheridan. It's like, yeah, it's like a school talent show, whatever. Like, there's always the kind of like boring ones that would happen, but you just hear in the background, "Boo, Sheridan."
Yeah,
To be fair, it looks pretty lame.
but she doesn't like do anything bad to anyone.
No.
They just
No.
hate her.
She's like,
That we know of.
That
Yeah.
we know of. Again, no context.
If other people are booing her now, like, man, she must have been shitty.
Yeah, it's like you know what? Yeah.
She's the villain in this movie.
She doesn't help
Re-
Donnie at all, you know?
Yeah. What the heck? She's useless. Fuck Sheridan.
So
Sheridan's my thumbs down moment.
doesn't go in the Kill Hall of Fame, but I wish it could have.
Wait, do we have? Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, later, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is one.
There's one, and it's famous.
No, I guess there's two.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, actually,
really, there's like
you're wrong.
thousands if you count everybody that dies in this dimension.
The Kill Hall of Fame is like billions of people because the whole dimension closed.
Yeah, all 7 billion people on Earth. That was just kind of metal. Actually, wait. Shout out to the asteroid that killed all the dinosaurs. That's Kill Hall of Fame. No, but they wake up in the theater and just immediately start kissing again. In the morning, the firefighters find like this kiddie porn dungeon in the basement of his house. Man, all the words you said in this episode are just our SEO is dropping
Yeah.
by
Mhm.
the minute. But dad's like, oh, I played golf with that guy. So I think it was his dad who he woke up next to on the golf course.
At the beginning?
Yeah, it
Really?
was his dad and the preacher. I think maybe I don't know. But
I don't.
At the beginning, it was a
It was like
doctor
the
and something else.
doctor and the
Yeah.
preacher.
Yeah.
And I think the doctor was like another one of his friend's dads or something. He said like, "Oh, my dad saw you on the course. He's sleepwalking again," something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So 6 days remain. The English teacher is being fired for what she's teaching, but she can finish out the week. She goes out and just screams "fuck" to the wind, and Sheridan sees her. And she's like,
Huge overreaction. It's like, oh, I lost my like $8.50 an hour job, my life that I've been teaching children porn
bills
apparently.
to pay.
Yeah,
It
but
looks bad on your record, bro.
True.
I don't know. She can. It's not Canada. You know, she
Very
collects some
brand.
EI.
The teacher shows up to Donnie's house to ask her mom if she can take, what is it, like Sparkle Magic or something, to their like festival because they won the talent show. And
Oh yeah, I hate that name.
Yeah, she's like begging her for it after. Didn't she just kind of insinuate that she's a shit mom and they don't just want her daughters hanging out like earlier?
Even when she asked her, she's like, "I would never want you to take them, but we have no option."
Mhm.
Okay,
You're
I'm
still
taking
not
it then.
opening this well.
And she's like, "I'm gonna be at the Jim Cunningham is not a pedophile rally." And I like her shirt just says "God is awesome." Yeah, she says, "Now believe me, of all the mothers, I would never dream of asking you, but none of them were available to go." And yeah, sometimes I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion. So she decides that she's gonna go take this trip. Donnie has some real creepy picture of Frank on his October calendar. Oh yeah, another thing is like all the things on the fridge, like on that little thing, the whiteboard on the fridge. They'll
Yeah.
say like, "Where is Donnie?" or say something about Frank or say something. His mom's talking to Donnie about
Vote for Dukakis.
vote for Dukakis. His mom's talking
I'm
about
due for a
going on
cock
trip.
kiss. Sorry.
That was a stretch.
I thought of it. I had to say it.
Elaborate, Josh. Elaborate.
You heard me. I'm due for a
He's
cock
due.
kiss.
Oh, all right.
What else? What do I need to explain?
So yeah, mom's talking about leaving for a trip, and he's like, "How does it feel to have a wacko son?" She's like, "It feels wonderful." Not very convincing, IMO. He writes a letter to Grandma Death. 4 days remain. Donnie goes to see his professor that's getting kicked out. He's like, "What do I tell the other kids?" Don't remember what she says, but there's the whole thing about cellar door. Cellar door is the most beautiful like phrase in the English language. Is it? Is it
Yeah.
though?
Cellar door.
Or is
Noah's just having the fattest cloud of all time.
I can just see the haze in his
Whoa.
room.
this?
Noah. Oh, it's almost the same water bottle.
No,
What are your
yeah.
Oasis ones?
Yours is cooler.
So the
Aw.
Oasis one,
Rest
when
in
I
peace,
kept,
Oasis.
when I kept water in it for more than a minute at one time, it started tasting really bad. And I was like, are these like BPA free and all those like food checks?
Yeah, they are.
So okay. I don't know, I just
I don't
got
know what the
sussed
fuck you
out by
did
it.
to it.
Wow, not a shining sponsor over here.
Honestly.
Sorry.
So yeah, she stumbles out with her just like box of crap, including this like giant American flag. Donnie sees Sherida and walks up to her and just grabs her by the earmuffs. He's like, "I promise one day everything is gonna be better for you." And she just runs away. Shut up! Shut up! Like the only line in this. She drops a book and it just says Donnie Darko, or it says Donnie on it, and it has like I think it was like drawings of him or something. And yeah, he wears the earmuffs all the way home. He's being hypnotized again in therapy. What made you upset? I got no hungry hippos for Christmas. How'd that make you feel? Regret. What else makes you feel regret? That I did it again. Huh? I flooded the school, burned down this guy's house. Yeah, he's got the power to travel through time, and he's running out of time soon. He starts like crying. He walks over, grabs a stuffed animal, and he's crying. He's like he's going to kill again. And then Frank appears in the therapy session. He's like, "This guy's gonna open up." She's like comforting him, starts hugging him, and then she snaps him awake, and he's like, "Huh, what? Why are you touching me?" Like this, I don't know. Therapy session.
There's a lot of like sus things happening whenever he snaps awake. Like his hands down his pants, she's embracing him. Like, whoa, therapist.
Yeah. One day remains. His sister, we learn, is going to Harvard. He suggests that they throw a party to celebrate, and so they do. The dude across the street we see again smoking a cigarette in the tracksuit. The party's going on. His GF shows up at the door. They head up to the bedroom, and she says that her mom went missing, and she needed to like go somewhere safe. And he's like, "I'll show you safe." Mwah, 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 mwah. And then
Trauma kiss,
stays
trauma kiss.
fucked.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Everybody's going.
yeah, and the mom is like, "Yeah, we'll be back at 8 in the morning because I don't know."
Catching the red eye back.
Yeah, and GF comes walking downstairs with him. They're holding hands. Their hair is not nearly disheveled enough. I don't believe
No.
that's what went on up there.
No.
6 hours remaining. He starts seeing people's time trails, and on the fridge it says Frank was here, went to get beer. One time trail passes through like his head, and he sees like the future for a hot moment. He stands up and says that they have to go.
He's literally like looking into her like stomach as she does like how she just doesn't say anything. She's just like, yes, normal. He's just like, you gotta come with me.
They go to like Grandma Death's house, and they see the cellar door. Cellar door, we have to go in.
So beautiful, that word, cellar door. Oh my god, say it again. It's traumatic. It turns me on. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. The bullies grab them like with knives while they're in the cellar and drag them outside. Donnie's being held
In the
down.
cellar door.
Smeller,
Sorry.
snore, more like the
Oh.
yeah, being held down by knives and stuff. They have these masks on, but they immediately take them off. So I don't know why they're wearing them.
Not even
And
masks.
They're not masks. It's just tube socks.
yeah,
Or pantyhose, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't conceal their identity at all.
you only really wear those for like black and white cameras when you're like walking or robbing a store. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the one bully's just liking this a little too much, and this car comes driving up. It tries to or dodges Grandma Death, but then hits his GF. And they get out. Oh my God, what'd you do, man? What'd you do? You killed her, Frank. And then like it kind of takes a moment of silence. Or like both the bullies run away. And he looks up and he's like, well, "What were you guys doing in the middle of the road for?" And tries to blame. And
To be
Donnie
fair, but
just glocks him.
caps him one shot. Donnie's never held a gun before in his fucking life, and this man, without any knowledge, just points it. Ooh.
The bullet had to go there, traveling through God's channel. But
No Call of Duty, no nothing. That man just ultra.
Well, he practiced he practiced shooting.
Oh, he did. Yeah, never
bottles
mind.
earlier.
Yeah, I guess he had a pellet gun or whatever. Never mind. He shot guns. He's good.
so he gets
Ruthless
shot in the
trained
eye.
killer.
And this is obviously Frank here, and he's like, Jake Gyllenhaal's like line delivery. He's like, just run home and go tell your parents.
To go.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
It's pretty convincing, honestly.
he carries her all the way to his house, and then just sits her up in the car. They drive up to the mountains, and he's just like Tokyo drifting the whole way there. He's remembering this conversation with his science professor, and he's like staring at her, smiling, and hearing the whole like, if you can replace the bad memories with good ones, like, wouldn't you?
If you had the chance to change your fate, would ya?
Would ya?
The time starts skipping backwards. We see the plane in the sky starts crashing, and starts reading out the note that he wrote to Grandma Death, and the engine gets taken and goes through freaking time and space and stuff. He wakes up in his bed and he's hysterically laughing. I understand now. I'm gonna die. Then the whole room starts coming down around him as it crashes. October 2nd.
Lightning crashes. Sorry.
Yeah.
No. October 2nd, 1988. Donnie is dead, and this is back to the first like day of the movie. His therapist awakes in her bed. All around me are familiar faces.
Worn out. Yeah,
I see the
that's
two
a good song.
teachers.
Worn out faces.
The preacher is
Cried
crying
in early.
No.
They should have used
Drown
lightning
my
crashes. That would have
sorrow.
worked better.
You basically see that kind of everybody who he's like talked to and interacted with sort of like feeling like woken up or like feeling some sort of ripple or that something is gone. That's how I kind of interpret that. And
Yeah.
then at their house, Donnie's dead. His family's outside, like kind of coping. Nobody's crying or anything. His mom's just out there smoking, and his would-be GF comes by and asks, "What's going on?" "Oh, terrible accident. Got switched by a jet engine." "What was his name?" Donnie Darko." And the mom and her share a glance for a long time, and eventually she like waves, even though she shouldn't know her because
Mhm.
they would have never met. Um, and they both kind of know each other. And the other kid, like 10 seconds later, just
Yeah.
also waves. And then that's the last shot of the movie. So before we get into some thoughts here, first we go to our ceremony of thumbs. This is the part of the show where we decide whether, hey, you need to give this one a watch, you must, or hey, you can probably give this one a skip. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Okay, so we
Be
got
interesting.
Dane and me and Joe down, and then you guys up. So I'm gonna say let's throw it to Josh and Noah first.
Sure. I like a movie that I can rewatch it multiple times and always like get something different out of it, or like there's always like something different I think about. I don't know. That's
Yeah,
what I like about it.
yeah.
was just about to say kind of the same thing. It's been a while since I've had a movie where I've tried to watch it on like 3 or 4 different times and just like got a different thing out of it each time. Just
Mhm.
like understood a different thing. And,
Yeah.
I don't know, it was fun. It was like a more immersive experience.
It's definitely
Yeah.
more
But
like
it took me
grounded.
a few watches and discussions and
And
other
explanation
things to help
videos.
with it. But I think it was fun after doing all that. Like a little like a mini puzzle, even though there isn't any real true ending.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah. For me, I like open ending, like, but this is like a little too open, and I feel like just the rules aren't explained that well, and like all
I
that.
think that also happened a lot more with maybe not as late of that movie, but like compared to a bunch of because I've just been like turbo looking at modern movies, and there's such a difference in just how like clean it is. Like obviously, modern movies is so cleaned up, you know exactly what's happening most of the time. But this one is just very ambiguous, and I
Yeah,
don't know. I feel like older movies, maybe because I was younger when I watched them, I didn't understand them, but I understand less older movies than I do newer movies. I feel like new movies make it like really easy
Too
to
easy,
get
yeah.
it, and older movies, even though this isn't too old, like 30 years, 1991.
yeah.
19 or it's
2001.
I
2001.
guess that actually still is like that's still pre 2000.
No, 2001.
Oh,
2001.
2001. Never mind.
Yeah. So like,
Even then,
I don't
I
know.
understand shit.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that's kind of what makes it shitty. Is like, yeah, it's just too open ended, and there's a lot of scenes in this movie that upset me. Too many scenes that upset me that I didn't like in terms of dialogue and just the way characters are doing things. It just kind of felt kind of, again, yeah, really random. And so yeah, um, it's not like a bad movie. I don't hate it. I enjoyed watching it, but I really don't think it's that worth anyone's time to invest in the adventures of Donnie Darko
Yeah.
just to
For
learn they're an edgelord.
yeah. For me, I did really enjoy the movie, but I just think any movie that you have to go watch like an explained video on after to try and or multiple explained videos to try and grasp what you watched for the whole time, I just like I don't know if I really want to just recommend that to someone to watch.
And like, I feel like
At the
even with
same time, because
the
there isn't a real ending, I think that's what makes it good. Like there isn't
Yeah.
a ending that you just were so confused on, you didn't know like what directly happened.
because I think the important, some movies it's like, scene by scene, you're like interested and it's like it's really entertaining as you're going through. I don't think this movie is like that where it's like each scene is entertaining. Like, yeah, you're kind of trying to figure it out, so you're intrigued, but the whole
Yeah.
movie is about the premise, and then at the end of the movie, you can still not understand the premise. Even after the explain video, you can like not understand the premise, and then just scene by
Yeah.
scene, I don't find it like that enjoyable. It's not like very
Yeah.
exciting or anything.
Yeah.
I think
I
you're
think
making it
definitely
more of an art project of a movie in the way of unabashedly just making what you want, just straightforward or straight up what you want, not straightforward at all, but
yeah.
just having a wacky idea that we're still talking about like right now.
Yeah.
And
I think
everyone's still
definitely
discussing it.
having to pour through with like a fine-tooth comb to try and understand different details can just kind of take some of the enjoyment out of a movie.
And that's what I like
you're
sometimes.
watching.
Yeah, I was gonna
You're
say,
watching
I'm
this
the
with
opposite.
like
I
a
like that
scene
stuff.
behind every time.
I do love a detail-oriented movie that like is thought-provoking and stuff, but if it's like any little thing like that is just mind-bending, I don't know.
It just feels
I
like
don't know,
as
like-
you're combing through, you're not actually picking all that much more up with this one.
Yeah. I don't know, and like I said, I really did enjoy the movie. It's just not something I would necessarily say, you need to go watch this one.
Reminded me of like, well, not it directly didn't remind me, but just picking through something reminded me of I think
I'm
we should end
thinking of
things.
ending things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I enjoyed because it's like a sleuthy, interactive. I want to figure out what their message is. But then in the end, art is just what's taken from.
That's another
sees
movie.
it.
I'm like, man, this is too fucking artsy of a movie for me.
See that I like
That's
a
like
lot better.
that one's
that's like
pushing
that's like the last time I've seen someone that made me think a lot too, though. Like
You know that movie's
they're very sparingly.
that episode isn't up on our channel. I don't know why.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I took it down because the movie's shit, but
Was it up?
I saw it go up and I was like, nah, this fucker's not giving any free promotion to this dumpster fire.
Fair. Fair. I
Oh,
guess
I'm glad there
that
wasn't
brings
anything in
us
that.
to our here wheel. So once again, I'll go over our movies and then
Please.
we will spin and see
Please.
what we're watching. But first, let me just remind you that if you like what we're doing here, please leave a like. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this one. Hit the bell button if you want to be notified. Joseph's movie on the wheel this week is Happy Gilmore. Our bonus movie is Basketball. I think I just wrote basketball though. So
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
The Water Boy is Josh's movie. Dodgeball is Dane's movie. Moneyball is Noah's movie. And Benchwarmers is my movie.
We got a lot of balls on
This
there.
thing is all good. I don't want it to hit. I think I need to like tighten this nut here. There we go.
Tighten
3,
your nut.
2, 1.
Please me.
Oh yeah, it's fun way better. Basketball.
Basketball. Woo!
Yeah, we're gonna watch basketball next time. So if you want to watch that with us, bit by bit, have some fun, have some laughs, please come along with us next time to do that. We have been No Thumbs Up.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Deuces.
Pieces.